Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. I want to answer a few questions I got from the cruise video I put up. The cruise was a five-day cruise. I'm going to go over a little bit of cost. I think cruises are very affordable if you're not into gambling or into alcohol. The cruise makes their money off of you by selling alcohol at a high rate, and also you going into the casino and gambling. If you're not a gambler or a drinker, the cruise will lose money on you. They always lose money on us. Let me talk about it. The cruise for us was the 5 days, and with all the government fees and charges, $650. Now there's additional cost to that too. We had to leave our vehicle there, so that was $85. They include all of the tips and gratuities into a fee, and that was $115. So you're looking at $850 plus about $50 in gas to get down there. So you're looking at $900. If you tried to get any place along the beach, you wouldn't even come close to $900. And that includes everything. And I am telling you what, the service we got from our room steward, to the waiters, to everyone on that ship was very pleasant. They work very hard. A lot of the people that work there from foreign countries, Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia, Ukraine, all over. And they work harder than anyone I've ever seen. That ship could not be run if we had Americans that would have to work in every position. The most hard-working people. Our room was spotless. They cleaned it twice a day. It just incredible service we got on that ship. So for $900, we couldn't even come close to that. Now, granted, they make their money off alcohol and going into the casino, and we don't do that. So we'll probably eventually get a black sticker next to our name and say, hey, don't let these guys get on our boat anymore because we lose money with them. So you don't have to worry about anything. Everything's taken care of on the ship. There's some awesome shows. We went and saw some musicals. We just saw comedians. Just fun. Enjoyable time. Let me show you a picture. And they have a formal night, a very formal night. And I do clean up. See, I do clean up. I look all right in a suit and tie. I enjoyed it. In the evenings, we went to one of the formal dining rooms. Just, you couldn't touch that every night in my area for 50, 60, 70 bucks. If we went out to an expensive restaurant, I mean, easily 50, 60, 70 or higher. And we did that every night, and that's included in the cost. Awesome food. You could eat a lot of things that we normally don't eat. Shark, frog legs, all kinds of seafood, crab, lobster, everything you want. You know, the food itself was superb. So that's a little bit about a cruise. This is my second cruise, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Just being able to get on that boat, not have to worry about driving, not having to worry about anything except relaxing and having fun. And definitely very relaxing time with my wife. Just spending the whole 24 hours a day with her, not having to worry about cooking, cleaning, driving, anything. So we had lots of fun. I'm going to talk about what I took on the cruise. But before I got on the cruise, we had about a 4-hour drive. So that's a get home bag complete with everything you need in it, and that's always in the vehicle. So we had that with us until we got to the point of Charleston. I decided to go with 238s instead of having a Glock 9mm or two of those sitting in there in the vehicle. I would hate for those to get ripped off. I would hate for these 238s, but they're cheap 38s, Rossi's, but they do the job. So I carried two of those and about 90 rounds of ammo. I also carried my SOG knife and a Leatherman, and also had my Rav Power, extra power if I needed it, and in the glove box was some pain medicine, and inside there is a small first aid. So that was in the vehicle, and that I left at the Port of Charleston, and then I boarded the boat. I want to talk a little bit about customs. Customs was a piece of cake. No problems at all. Very, very friendly. Not even close to what you have to put up with when you get on a plane. Just throw your bags through the x-rays, their carry-on bags. I had no problems at all. They did have a problem with my bag because I had some water in it. I want to say we took water on the ship just because they do charge you for bottled water. And it's sort of expensive. It's like $4.50 for a bottle, about 3 times that size. So we took some water in our suitcases, and we took some Mountain Dew. I drink a lot of tea, about a half a gallon a day, so I get a lot of caffeine, and I did not want to have a headache because I wasn't drinking enough caffeine. So we took some Mountain Dew. We took a very, very small cooler that holds about 8 of those small bottles, and our room steward would always put ice in it for us, keep it topped off. The service was out of this world excellent. I carried a few things on the boat. All of this stuff I had to leave in the vehicle, but what I carried on the boat, and I carried it in this 511 bag, top of the line bag. Quality is there. Don't want to talk too much about the bag, but quality bag for sure, 511 gear. So what did I carry? And I carried it in that bag, and that was sort of like my get home bag. Definitely a hat. I don't wear a hat usually, but I carried a hat. Some very thin gloves. Definitely we had some Germex, and we used it in the ship. There's Germex everywhere, little dispensers. So I didn't really use much out of that because anywhere you go, you can clean your hands. It's like little ants running around that ship. They were always cleaning and wiping down every surface. I felt very safe compared to germs. There has been cruise ships that have outbreaks. I have no concern about that. Everything is being cleaned so many times during the day. Carried an emergency blanket. I did carry an orange safety vest. Reason I carried that is because in case of an emergency, things happen on a ship, I could definitely use that maybe to walk around, go somewhere on the ship that normal people couldn't go, just because everyone would have a safety vest on the crew. So it might have helped. A couple emergency ponchos, and I did take the conflicted game, the new second set, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't even open it up. I had so much fun, so many things to do, didn't even open it up. I do have one of the cards. I wrote one of the scenarios in there, and I'll be sharing that with you. Definitely took some military bug juice, a pad of paper. I was going to write down a list of things I wanted to accomplish in the next few months, but guess what? I didn't have time to write it down. Having too much fun. A compass, 3 flashlights. Make sure if you go on a cruise, take some flashlights. That ship is very dark if those lights go off. Extra batteries, some glow sticks, fire starter, whistle. Definitely, I've had a few Sawyers, and I've had them for almost 2 years. The best filter money can buy is a Sawyer filter. I haven't done a review on it. I've been waiting. A lot of times people get products and they just throw a review up. I've had it for almost 2 years and a couple models. I should do a review because I think Sawyer is the best product out there right now. I'm going to talk about knives. I got my knife on board. The funny thing was it was in my bag and it went through, and the lady told the other lady, hey, the jackknife. So I thought, oh man, I'm going to lose my jackknife, which I was totally ready to lose it. The Carnival, I did a little research, and they say you can have up to a 4-inch knife, but then a lot of other people say no, you can't have any knife. But I made that knife and it got through, no problems. But be careful, don't take an expensive knife because you might lose it. Their policy says if it's under 4 inches, you can have it, but don't trust that. I did take some medical stuff with me. Simple saline. I'm still using that a little bit on the my nose from my surgery. It helps. Some pain medicine, some gauze, a triangle band-aid, a combat band-aid, some band-aids. Took some Gas-X with all the new food we're eating. Didn't want to have any problems, which we didn't have any problems, but it's good to have it. Some more band-aids, and this is what's left of the baby wipes. Baby wipes especially. Good for all kinds of things. The only thing I didn't take that I should have took was some Benadryl. Also definitely took cash. If I had to try to get home and maybe in an emergency they drop us off in Florida, I wanted cash, especially if credit cards or electronics were down. Cash is king. So I carried about $1,000 cash on me. Yes, I was risking being robbed. Each of your rooms, you'll have a safe that you can program the code. So money was kept in the safe. I felt very secure. Definitely passports. You don't have to have a passport to take a cruise in the Bahamas. You have to have a picture ID, and you need to have your original birth certificates. On our first cruise, we went ahead and got passports. I think they're important for preppers to have. You can leave the country quickly. Without it, you might be in trouble. That is my retired military ID, and my wife took her military dependent ID. I have that upside down so you don't see all my vital information. What else? They will offer you insurance. I got the insurance. It was $60, and the insurance gave me protection in case my wife, myself got sick. We had a serious problem in our family, a death in the family. This way we could cancel and get our money back. I thought that was important. It also gave us coverage, which was the biggest thing, was medical coverage. We had, I think, off the top of my head, $250,000 medical insurance. So let's say one of us got sick and we had to be flown off of the ship by helicopter. That is probably, it'd cost you $50,000 to have a helicopter come out and with a medical team and get you off that ship and take you to a hospital in the States. So that gave us peace of mind. $60 for the insurance was well worth it. If we were over there and we got hit by a car, my TRICARE health insurance through the United States military might not cover it. I didn't want to take a chance, so I got it. I felt much better by it. Plus, both of our parents are elderly. You never know when they're going to get sick, and would have to cancel out. So I thought it was very wise. And you might say, well, you wasted $60. No, I'm glad I wasted $60. I'm glad we didn't need that insurance. We don't have a lot of clothes out here because we carried clothes. We carried good walking shoes because we toured the islands. So we had a lot of other things. I did do one thing every day. I got an extra piece of fruit and took it to my room. Usually I would eat it. I did throw 3 pieces of fruit away, but that was just my insurance in case something happened. I have a little bit of food. I did leave a case of water in my car and some snacks that we took down that we didn't eat. So, worst case, if I make it back and the crap has hit the fan, I know I have plenty of water in my vehicle. I know I have plenty of food for a few days, some snack food. So I thought that was very important. I think a cruise is well worth the money. The amount of services you get, and they're always trying to, you can spend a lot of money on the ship. If you don't know how to say no, you definitely can. The pictures, they charge, I think, $20 a piece for them. To me, it was well worth it to have a good quality photograph of a wonderful time with my wife. We did take a lot of pictures ourselves, so that was very, very helpful. So these are some things I took with me. It's really not the things you take with you. It's what is in your head. What skills do you know how to do that you can improvise? I will tell you, security was fine on the ship. There was one time when we heard Sierra team needed, and it was in a dining room. Sierra team needed in the dining room. I thought Sierra being, for security. So I did walk up a couple flights. I looked in and there I could see security. So if you ever hear Sierra team, that's the security team. And there was a disagreement between 2 guys, no problems, but they called them. And I think that's very helpful. I felt safe on the ship at all times. I met some wonderful people, very friendly people. I met a lot of Army guys. I can tell, some of them had bags that were similar to mine that were issued. So, it was nice to see them, and I talked to a few. I also, the funniest thing, one of my neighbors was on the same cruise. He has 2 small kids, and they were on the cruise, and they probably only live 1.5 miles through the woods. So it was neat to see them and talk to them. I also found out what room they were staying in, because in case of an emergency, that way I could hook up with them, and between him and me, we'd have a much better chance of surviving a problem on the ship, or if we had to get off the boat. So it was good. I also made some connections with some U.S. military personnel that were on there. We had something in common. So if something bad happened, I already know their first name. We talked. There's strength in numbers, and being knowing that they were a prior military or current military, they have a skill set. Especially if they were infantry. I met a nice ranger. He was injured, so he's medically retired. So I had a great time. I'd be glad to answer any questions you have on a cruise. I'm not an expert. I've gone on 2 cruises. But it's a load of fun. I know my wife enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It's something we'll plan on doing many more. For the amount you spend, you can't even rent a condo on the beach for a week for less than $1,000. And we got the food, we got the service, we got entertainment. It was a great time. Thanks for watching.